My name is Stephen Biodon DTM, the anchor of Catfish Solution Academy. This morning, I'll be giving you some a great information about your water parameters, which, as a farmer, as a catfish farming, these parameters have been affecting a lot of farmers, and most of us have been doubting on how, in order to rectify the problems. But this morning, I'm taking you through a very great and practical exercise on how to manage your waters. But today I'll be talking only about just 4 parameters. The 4 parameters I'll be talking about the acidity, your pH level, which I know that is the major problem most catfish farming are having. Most of the other parameters that any farmer can have, like for example, by the time maybe you're having a water hardiness, a high ppm for water hardiness, if you're having a high water hardiness, by the time you correct your pH, this automatically will have been corrected. So other parameters like the turbidity, salinity, all those parameters can be overdue when nature takes its place. That means by the time you open it down for a certain period, this will subdue. So, but most of the problem that takes longer period and affect our fishes mostly are what we call the pH, the alkalinity of your water. We have the chlorine, which most people are not taking cognizance of. Most people are not really knowing that this is really affecting our fishes. I said it earlier. There's a farm I went to that I supplied them some jumbo size of fishes. So by the time we supplied the jumbo size, I noticed they called me the other day that all the fishes have died. And the problem about jumbo is that jumbo has the immune system is well built, that if any infection or disease can attack, it can retain those kind of diseases, any water parameters. So that means that chlorine is highly dangerous for your fishes. So what really happened is that the borehole that the house is using, the borehole is being treated with chlorine substance. So by the time we drop in the fish died. So I was there the other day. I brought another fish as a free of charge to make sure that my fish are good. So I took another fish, took it to the farm free of charge. I didn't collect any money from them. So by the time we got there, I couldn't notice. What I did is that I only test for the pH, and I realized the pH of their water as leak is okay. The pH is around 6. I know as a jumbo size, you don't need to be scared. Even at juvenile, you don't need to be scared. Even at post fingerless, you don't need to be scared. So I dropped the fishes. I got home. So the next day, I had a call again that the fishes have died. So I have to rush over there again, bring some fish again for them, because the person is starting fresh, so I need to encourage them. So by the time I got there, I noticed, I now said, we need you to test it. There's a problem with your water. So the man now realized that, wow, they treated the borehole with chlorine. So we now tested for the chlorine, and we now noticed the chlorine is high. The ppm is so high. So that is what is really killing their fishes. So today, for everybody that did not know those effects of other parameters that we are not even in the table of water parameters correction, chlorine is not even included. So I'm just making sure that I give you this information so you can be the first to at least take care of what you have in your water. What really happened is that it's not that chlorine is dangerous. Chlorine is very, very good in our water because we consume it. What chlorine does to your water is that, 1, chlorine purifies our water. It's an antibiotics, is an antibacterial substitute that makes sure that it kills the bacterial infection in our water. It kills the fungal infection in our water. So these are very, very important to take care in our water. So it is very, very important that we take care of this. So I will even tell you something is that if you are having a chlorine in your water, how to treat chlorine in your water is that chlorine do evaporate at the time due. That means by the time you open your pond down, maybe it's in a storage tank. You open your storage tank for at least for 24 hours. By the time you test the chlorine content, it will be subdued. That means the lower it becomes, so that it fades off. Evaporation takes it off. That means sun takes it off, osmosis takes it off. So that means the chlorine normally diffuses from our waters. So it is very, very important. And I normally going to use that chlorine in your water acts and as an antioxidant. That means it acts as a way of purifying our waters. If it works for our water on a bacterial infection, in case we have any bacteria, the microorganism that causes bacteria in our water, that means kills it. Fungal infection, it kills it, so it makes our water purified. It purifies our water, it cleans our water. So even I normally advise ashers, if you are into ashing, and you can add chlorine to your storage tank, or you can add it to your, or maybe to your storage tank, and you allow it to evaporate for at least 24 hours plus. So by the time you test the chlorine substance, it will have gone down. That means the infection, that pre-infection that may happen to your fryers at the early stage, may not be there or reduced totally. That means the fungal infection that normally affects our fish in 5 days to 1 week, that will really reduced for an asher. And even the bacterial infections that affect our fishes in another 2 weeks, 3 weeks of hatchery, when the unhatched egg is still in our pond, that normally causes those kind of infection, this water will be purified. So I'm telling you guys now that chlorine water is not dangerous. It's not really dangerous if you know how to manage it. I normally, in one of the lecture I did yesterday, I was talking about how to manage your water. There's everything you can do. Everything has a way of managing it. So by the time you manage your chlorine, it works perfectly, most especially for hatchers, because if you are using any drugs in order to kill your bacteria and fungal infection, this will help you to do so by the time you understand how to manage it. And how do you manage all this water? I normally tell you guys, make sure that you have that test kit to manage all the water. So today, I'll be taking you through those exercises. That means I'll be talking about your acidity, I'll be talking your alkalinity of your water, I'll be talking about the chlorine content of your water, and I'll be talking about the Bauman content of your water. What this really implies is that in pH, in testing pH, if the pH is high, it's acidic. It's low, it comes to that means if the water is high, that means it comes to acidic and it comes to alkalinity. But in the chlorine level, it comes to high chlorine content and it comes to Bauman. So those are the 4 things I'll be talking about today. But later, I'll step further to give you more analysis on how to manage other parameters of your water.
Thank you for watching the part 1 of this great video. Make sure that you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Press on the notification button so that you'll be the first to watch the part 2 of this video. This video is an educative video on how to manage your water for your catfish farming. Thank you.